You are welcome to, for the third time, about trigonometry, or in another way I can say part 4 about trigonometry. So this is just the last part about the trigonometry. Okay, so today we'll be looking at the graphing. That is the main topic that we'll be looking at. Okay, so before we go into details, the first thing that you really need to know, it is what we call the Cartesian plane with the graphing. So this part, it's very important when you're dealing with the graphing part, right? So this is, I call this as the Cartesian plane with the graphing. So here, let's remember a bit. This part, it is the x-axis, which is positive, and this is the y-axis, which is positive. And this side, it is negative x-axis, and this side, it is negative y-axis. So this, it is how it is what? Arranged. Now, the first thing that I want you guys to know is that in the x-axis, we put 1. Why positive 1? Because you have positive x-axis. So I'll say positive 1, then y-axis 0. Even here, the x-axis will be 0, then positive what? 1. Then even this side, the x-axis will be negative 1, comma, y-axis 0. Then this side again, you also do the same thing. 0 in the x-axis, then the y-axis negative 1. So if you see, this is how it is, like that, right? So you shall see that from here, this is what we call 0 degrees. Then here it is 90 degrees. Then this part here, it is 180 degrees. And this part here, it is 270 degrees. And this part here, it is 360 degrees. Okay. After doing that, the other thing that I want you guys to take note of is this. Let's take it, the x-axis. The x-axis, it is for the cos. And the y-axis, it is for the what? For the sine. So the x-axis, it's for cos, and the y-axis, it is for the sine. Okay, now, if you have this kind of the question, if you have this kind of the illustration that you need to take note of is this. So if I say cos 0, right? What is my x-axis? My x-axis is 1 and my y-axis is what? 0. What's my x-axis is 0 and my y-axis it is 1. And what's my x-axis? Y. Then my y-axis is 0. What is my x-axis? It is 0. Then my y-axis is negative 1. Now, let's start. If I say cos 0, cos is in the y-axis, x-axis, it is in the x-axis. So if I say cos 0, what is the answer? It is 1. I hope you're getting that part. If I say sine 0, what is sine? It is in the y-axis. What is in the y-axis is 0. So if I say sine 0, the answer is what? 0, like that. Then if I say cos 90, the answer that is in the x-axis is 0. So meaning that the answer there is 0. So cos 90, the answer is 0. Sin 90, the answer is 1. If I say cos 180, the answer is negative 1. But if I say sin 180, the answer is 0 in the y-axis. Even here, if I say sin 270, sine, it is for the y-axis, which is negative what? 1. Then if I say cos 270, the answer is what? 0. So this is the simplified way on how you can know these things, right? So that is how you know these things most of the time. Okay, now let's go to the explanation based on sine theta. Now let's look at y is equal to a sine then bx plus c, then what? Plus what? D. So in here, the main things that I really want you guys to take note of are these. The first thing, it is when I say A, it is what we call amplitude. Then we have also what we call period. So the way we calculate period here, it is 2 pi over b. Or in another situation, I can just say 360 over what? B. Which b exactly? This b which is here. That's the b that I've put in there. Then the other part, it's what we call the vertical. Or let me start, before I go to the vertical shift, I'll start with what we call the phase what? Shift. So the phase shift in this situation, you have seen this C, that's the C. But when it comes to the equation, how we calculate the phase shift, we calculate it in this way. We say bx plus c is equal to what? 0. So I'm going to say b like that. I'll say b x equal to negative c over b, then over b. Then I'll cancel my x is equal to negative c over b. So that is how I calculate what we call the vertical or the phase shift. But when it comes to the vertical shift, things change. So we have also what we call the vertical shift. So when it comes to the vertical shift, the way you calculate the vertical shift, it's like this. The way we calculate the vertical shift, it's like this. The one which is d here, right? So it is y is equal to d in short. That is how we calculate the vertical shift. Now, we also calculate what we call the range. The question is, how do we calculate this range? We calculate the range by saying range is equal to positive or minus amplitude plus the vertical shift. So we say plus positive or negative amplitude plus the vertical shift. So that is how we calculate the range. Now we have the maximum range. I'll say range max is equal to positive a plus d. Then we have also what we call minimum what? Range is equal to negative a plus what? D. So that is how you calculate like that. And also what you need to take note of is that we can able to calculate the starting point of the graph, where the graph will start from. So where the graph usually start from here, it is what we call the phase shift. So the phase shift, it is like the starting point of the graph. So the phase shift in this situation is x is equal to negative c over b. So that is the starting point of the graph. That is what you need to take note of. So that is the starting point of the what? Of the graph, right? Now, how do we find the ending point of the graph of one cycle? I'm saying about one cycle, not more cycles, but just one cycle, just one cycle. So the ending point, the way we calculate the ending point of the graph, we say the ending point of the graph, I'll say ending point, right, of the graph. So the ending point of the graph is equal to period plus what? The starting point, phase shift. So it's period plus the starting point, which is the phase shift. So these are the main things that you need to take note of when it comes to drawing of the graph. Let me say the first thing, the amplitude, then the second thing, the period, then the other one, it's the phase shift, and the other one is the vertical shift, and also the range. So you use the range when you have the vertical shift. So if you don't have the vertical shift on the range, we don't use anything on the range, right? We just use the amplitude, the one that you have been what? Given. Then the ending point of one cycle, it is period plus the phase shift. Okay, now let's go into these questions, how we can draw these graphs, right? How we can draw these graphs, so that if you have known all of this, it will be very easy for you to draw these kind of what? Graphs. Now let's look at our question, which is, or if they ask you draw this graph, the question is, how do we draw this kind of the graph? So the first thing that you need to take note of, what is your amplitude? So in this situation, the amplitude, it is the front number or the front digit. Do we have any number in this side? We don't have. So the only thing that is there, it is 1, which is invisible. So I'll say it's 1. Then the other thing, it is period. Remember 360 over b. Now the b, the coefficient of x. Do we have what's the coefficient there? It is 1. So you say 360 over 1, like that. And the answer is what? 360, right? And the other thing, it is what we call the phase shift. So when it comes to the phase shift, do we have anything this side? I'll just say x is equal to 0. Is it okay? Because I'll get this x, then I'll equate it to what? To 0. Then the other one, it is what we call the vertical shift. So when it comes to the vertical shift, we don't have anything the other side. So say y is equal to what? 0. Just like that. Okay. Now let's draw this graph. Remember again, I usually advise, let's calculate the ending point of the graph, right? Or ending point of one cycle. So remember, it's period plus what? The phase shift. Period plus the phase shift. What is the period? 360 plus 0. So in this situation, it will be 360, like that. So 360, that is the ending point. Is it okay? Now, remember that Cartesian plane. It is very important, guys. This plane, it will help you to come up with a lot of things. This one. So this is 1, 0. And remember, this is the x, y. So here we're dealing with sine, right? So meaning that we'll just be dealing with y-axis. Is it okay? Because we're just dealing with what? With sine. So this is 0, negative what? Oh, positive 1 there. Then this side it's negative 1, 0. Then this side it will be this side will be 0, negative 1. So that is the thing which is there. And now we need to draw the graph. What is the starting point, or what is the phase shift? According to what you have been given, the phase shift, it is 0. So the phase shift, it is 0, and it's ending on what exactly? According to what we've been given, 360. That's where we're ending, the ending point. Now, the next thing, we divide between here at 3 points. So we have this one and this one, right? So we have to divide here at 3 points, or we need to have 5 points that make one cycle. Is it okay? So we have already 1 point and the first point and also the last point. So meaning that we are remaining with the 3 points that make one cycle. So we have this point 1, 2, then what? 3. So if I count all of them, how many points? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I said that we need to have 5 points. All right. Now, what is the amplitude? The amplitude, according to what we've been given, it's 1 and the -1. These are the amplitudes. Is it okay? So I'll start. I'll say sine 0. This part, sine 0. I'll go to my Cartesian plane. What is sine 0? What is sine 0? Sine 0 in the y-axis. The answer is what? 0. So I'll say there it is 0. Okay. Before I do that, let me divide this. I'll say 0 plus 360 is answer 360 divided by 2, 180. That's the middle. Then 0 plus 180, it's 180 divided by 2, 90. Then when I add there again, here it will be 270, just like that. So I'll say sine 0. The answer is what? 0. I'll say sine 90. What is sine 90 here? According to here, sine 90, the answer is what? 1. So I'll come where there's 1 here. Then I also say sine 180. In the y-axis, what is in the y-axis? It is 0. So this is a 0 which is here. Then I also say sine 270. What is sine 270? If you check, you shall say that it's -1. So meaning that you need to go down -1. How about sine 360? According to here, sine 360 in the y-axis is what? 0. So this tells me that the graph will go like this, will go on top, then it comes down, and from there it goes like that. So that is how we draw the graph. Simple and straightforward with the Cartesian what? Plane graphing. Okay, now let's go to the another one. So another one, it is cos, right? So we have y is equal to cos theta. So if you have been given something that is like that, what do you do? If you have been given something that is like that, what do you do exactly? Now in here, the first thing that you do, amplitude 1, period 360 over b. What is the coefficient? It's 1. So it will be 360 over 1. So the answer is what? 360. And the other one, the phase shift. So the phase shift, we just say x is equal to what? 0. Is it okay? So we just say x is equal to 0 in that situation. Then the vertical shift, in that situation, it will be y is equal to what? 0. Now we need to find the ending point. Is it okay? The ending point of one cycle. So the ending point of one cycle in this situation, it will be, I want you guys to pay particular attention. It will be, ending point is what? Period plus the phase shift. What's the period? 360 plus 0. Then the answer is what? 360. So it is telling me that the graph will start from 0 and it will end on 360. Just one cycle. Just one cycle. That's what it means. Not 2 cycles, but 1 cycle. It will start from 0 and it will end on what? 360. So we need to divide these to 5 points. So we have already 2 points. These are the 2 points. Then let's divide to, we are remaining with 3. So here I'll divide, here I'll divide, and here I'll divide. Then what's between the 2? It is 300 and what? Oh, it is 180, sorry. Then here it is 90. Then here it is what? 270. So what is the amplitude? The amplitude, you have 1 and the -1. So let's start. Is it okay? The Cartesian plane. It's very important. Remember dealing with cos, right? So this is 0, 90, 180, then 270. So the Cartesian plane, it is 1 comma 0, then 0 comma negative 1, then also that's positive, right? You have negative 1 comma 0, then 0 comma negative 1. So something like that. Is it okay? Now if I say cos 0, cos, look at this, cos 0, cos 0, what is in the x-axis? It is 1, so meaning it will be here. You have seen that. If I say cos 90, I'll go to where 90 is. In the x-axis is what? What is there in the x-axis? Because cos is for the x-axis. What is there? Cos 90. It is what? 0 in the x-axis. So it will be here. Then what is cos 180? Cos 180 in the x-axis is showing it's negative what? 1. Like that. So it will be somewhere here. Then I also say cos 270. Cos 270 in the x-axis is showing it's what? 0. So meaning it will be here. We're at 0 exact. That's point at 0. Then the other one, cos 360. What is cos 360, which is this side? It in the x-axis is what? 1. So your graph goes like this. So that is how you graph. Simple and what? Straightforward. So that is how you graph this kind of what? Graphs. Okay. Now let's look at something that is interesting or something that we need to take note of whenever you have been given some questions. So some questions will come like this. And this is very simple. Nothing that is hard here. Nothing that is hard. Then they'll say, find the amplitude, the period, the phase shift, and also the vertical shift. It's supposed to be, and also the vertical shift, and sketch the graph of the following. Is it okay? So in that situation, what do we do? The first one is 3. Remember the Cartesian product. It's very much important, that one. This is very, very important. So this is 1 comma 0, then 0 comma 1, and this is negative 1 comma 0, then 0 comma negative 1. This is very, very important. So this is the x-axis, y, x, y, x, y, x, y. Remember, x-axis is for cos, then y-axis is for sine. So we have already started cos. So cos, it is the x what? Axis. Like that. Okay, now let's start, right? So if you look, what is the amplitude in that situation? It is 3. Then the period in that situation. So it will be 360 over b, which is what? 360 over 1. The coefficient, which is 1 there. So the answer is what? 360. Then the other one, it is the phase shift. So the phase shift in that situation, I'll get all of this. I'll say x minus 3 is equal to 0. Then x is equal to what? 30. So this tells me that the starting point of the graph is 30. That's what it is telling me. Okay. Now, and we have also what we call the vertical shift. So the vertical shift, do we have anything outside the brackets? We don't have. So meaning that the y is equal to what? 0. So after doing that, the first thing that you do is this. After doing that, is it okay? I may ask, what is the amplitude? The amplitude in that situation, it is 3. So here down it is negative 3, right? So remember the starting point. Let's find the ending point of the graph. The ending point of the graph, it will be period plus the phase shift. So of one cycle. So it will be 360 plus 30. What is the answer? 360 minus 30 or plus 30. So 360 plus 30. The answer is what? 390. So 390. So this tells me that the graph, the starting point, it is the starting point, the phase shift, it is what? 30. Then it is ending at 3 what? 90. Is it okay? Now, the next thing we need to do, we divide these points to 3 points, because this is the first point and this is the last point. Is it okay? So we need to divide between here to how many points? 5 points. Is it okay? So in short, we are already having 2, meaning that I'm remaining with what? 3. So it will be 1, 2, then what? 3. So what is between? I'll say 390 plus 30. The answer is 420 divided by 2. So it is giving me 210. That is between. Okay. Then I also say 30 plus 210. Then divided by 2. The answer is what? 120. Then I also do the same thing. 210 plus 360. Then the answer is 600 divided by 2. The answer is what? 300. Is it okay? Then after that, I'll check the difference between 120 minus 30. So the difference there, it is 90. Is it okay? Since the difference is 90, what I'll do is, this. Is it okay? So what I'll do is, if you look this part, I'll say 90 minus 30. The answer will be what? 60. Is it okay? So if I say what is happening here is that we have 30, which is here. So I'll go back by 90, because the difference between this one and this one here, it is what? 90. That's a difference. Is it okay? So I will go back by this one, which is supposed to be by this. This is 30. Is it okay? So I'll go back by 90. So I'll say 30 minus 90. The answer, it is negative 60. That is the answer. Is it okay? So meaning that the graph is starting from this side where there is negative what? 60. Is it okay on that part? So what I'll do, I can just say that, right? Okay. So that is what I'll do. Now look, the next thing that I'll do now is this part. I'm going to say 30. I'll put wherever there's x. So it will be 3 sine. Where there's x here, I'll put 30. I've started with this 30 minus 3, right? So you shall see that it will be 30 minus 30. The answer is what? 0. What is sine 0? What is sine 0? In the y-axis, it is 0, right? So this it is telling me that it's what? 0. 0 times 3. The answer is what? The answer will give me to be 0 here, right? And what if I put 120 there? So it will be 120 minus 30. So the answer there, it is what? 90, right? What is sine 90? Sine 90, the answer is what? 1. You have seen? Sine 90, the answer is giving me what? 1. So meaning that 1 times 3, the answer to give you what? 3. Then the next, if you see, you have seen the points, the next point will come here. Then the next one will come where? There. Even if I say I put 270 there, or 210 minus 30. So what is 210 minus 30? You shall see that it's 180. What is sine 180? It's 0 times 3. It is 0. So where next? 300 to come here down. Where next? Then the other one to come there. So in short, your graph, it will go like this, like this, right? That's how your graph what? move. But the main thing that you need to take note of when it comes to this kind of the graphs, you shall observe that they have told us that the domain is supposed to be from 0 to 300 and what? 60. So you just estimate where will be 360 in this situation. It will be somewhere here, right? So there, that's where it will be. Again, you just do this side, you just do this, you continue it like this, just like that. So that is how the graph it will be, just like that. Okay, now let's go to the second one, but not the rest. The second one. So on the second one, you have been given y is equal to 2 sine 3x plus pi. So in that situation, what you need to take note of, what's your amplitude? 2. Then the period 360 over 3. So you say 360 divided by 3. And the answer is what? 120. Right? Then the other one, it is the phase shift. So how do we calculate the phase shift? We say 3 pi or 3x plus pi is equal to 0. So remember pi, it is 180, right? Equal to 0. So 3 pi is equal to negative 180. And you divide by 3, divide by 3. So this is telling me that pi is equal to 180 divided by 3. Then you have 60 negative what? 60, like that. Okay, that's what you are having. Now let's look at what is your period, what is your ending point. The ending point of the single point. The ending point will be what? Period plus the phase shift. So what's a period? It is 120 plus what's the phase shift? The phase shift in this situation, it is 60. Okay, the vertical shift, it is y equal to 0 because we don't have anything this side. Is it okay? So it's just y equal to what? 0, like that. So after doing that, you shall see that your answer will be 120 plus 60. Then your answer is 180. So that's the ending point. So this tells me that the starting point of the graph, it is negative 60. Negative 60. And where is it ending? It's ending of just one graph. It is 180. So what I'll do next is this. I will say negative 60 plus 180. So negative 60 plus 180, it is 120 divided by 2 is 60. So it's somewhere here, 60, right? So 60 plus 60 is 0. And 60 plus 180 divided by 2 to be 120, like that. Is it okay? Okay, now let's start. Remember, this is sine. So sine, start from 0 most of the time. Then it goes where? What's the amplitude? Is 2, right? That's negative. So we go from here, then here, where next? Here, then there. So that is the graph which is supposed to be what? Drawn, just like that. If I get this one, I put it there, it's just the same thing, right? So that is how you draw your graph without suffering at all. So the next video will just be answering questions. This video is just for you to have an idea, but the next video is just answering questions based on what you have been given. Okay, make sure you like the video and understand it.